Today, we make this 2010 Ford F-150 more roadworthy by adding a lowering kit and a new exhaust. All this and more today on TruckU. Hey, welcome to TruckU. I'm Matt Steele.
Hi, I'm Bruno Massel.
Now, today we've got a little departure from the norm, and I almost can't believe I'm going to say this, but we're going to take this 2010 F-150 and I'm going to move over for the lightning strike, right? We're going to lower it, dude. Can you believe that?
I can't believe we're actually going to do something that's functional over here, you know? Matt's all about bigger is better, and believe it or not, there is another way you can go. And let's face it, this is, for this guy, it's going to be about an everyday driver is what he's using his truck for. Sure, he's going to put a little bit of a load in the back and use his bed, but it's more of a vehicle getting to and from work versus a working vehicle. So he wants not only the look of a lowered truck, but he wants the functionality of a car. And by lowering, he's going to pick up some functionality in the fact that when he's got some weight in, he's going through turns fast, he won't get that body roll to it. And also, if he's got to slam on the brakes in everyday traffic, he won't get that brake dive. And by limiting the brake dive, you're going to get more contact area to the ground, and the truck will handle better.
You make some very good points, and I agree with all of those. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You guys and Bruno,
you agree?
Listen, just listen to me one second. I like a lot of the lowered trucks out there. I think they actually look pretty cool. There, I said it. I'm out. I'm out. I feel so much better about myself, right? This is amazing.
Shocking news.
Now, today, we're going to accomplish this with this great lowering kit from Beltec. It's got everything that we need. We've got the street performance shocks. We've got the F-150 lowering shackles right there, and our struts for the front, which actually will give us 3 inches of adjustability.
Now, the best part about all this, it's relatively easy to install, and it's very cost effective. So you know what? I think it's time to stop talking, start working.
And when Bruno says start working,
you better run, boy. As you can see, we got the front tire off, and now it's time to get out the original factory strut. And got the last of the 3 nuts up top holding in place, and once I get this one off, I'm going to give Matt a hand and getting off the bottom bolt that's holding the A-arm to the front strut.
Yeah, let me get it. You ready?
All right, we're good there.
All right, hold it. There we go. All right. We've got a couple things to get out of the way and disconnect before we can drop this whole arm down and give ourselves enough room for that strut to come out. We've got a little sway bar right there and some steering linkage. Once we get all that disconnected, everything should just roll right out of the way. But keep in mind, we've got the jack underneath here. That way we can control the rate at which this descends, and we don't have any unexpected surprises.
Yeah.
All right, down.
Got it.
Up. Down. Up. Yeah, I got it. Down, up, down, up. There you go. All right. So we got the stock strut out of the way, and in a couple of minutes, we'll actually take this apart and put this spring on the new one that we got from Beltec.
Yeah, the strut's pretty cool because it gives you about 3 inches of adjustment in overall height of your vehicle. What comes is it's all about these little rings right here. If you look at the instructions, it tells you that with 3 rings on here, you'd actually be in a 1-inch lift situation. So that's not what we want. Take this little cap off, take one of the rings off, and that's at OEM height with 2 rings. The way this works is this sits up on top of here like that. Your spring goes on it. Well, we're going to drop it down 1 inch. So we'll take one of these rings off here. And now we're down to 1 ring on here, means a 1-inch drop, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So that'll go there. We'll put that spring on, and we'll be set up front. Now in the back, we want to go down 2 inches, and the whole idea is to have a nice, even stance with this truck.
When it comes to swapping out the springs here, you've got a couple of different options. One, you can use a strut compression tool like we've got right here. It makes things nice and easy, but let's face it, most people don't have one of these things laying around in their garage. A good option might be to take it down to one of your local shops, some guys that specialize in this sort of thing. They can do it quickly and easy, and they shouldn't kill you too bad on the price too, because it's not going to take them too long to do it. So how does this work? What's actually happening? Let's take a look at this. You would actually lay in the strut right here on the bottom pins right here. You lock in these top pins and you get it in nice and tight, and then you will actually crank this down and you can see it actually compressing the spring. There is a ton of pressure on that spring. Now the reason you want to use the right tool or let somebody else do it is because of this. All the pressure of the spring is on this little nut right up here on the top. So if you're just hanging out and you don't compress the spring and you pop this nut off the end, well, right when it gets to the end, boom, the nut flies off one direction, the spring flies another direction, and you got a mess on your hands and you can potentially get hurt. So you always want to make sure you do this the safe way. In fact, a lot of guys I know, they say, man, I hate working with springs. But if you've got the right tool, it's nice and easy. So once you get to that point, you get that nut off, you can reach down here and just pull this strut out, and it's really as simple as taking the new one and sliding it right back in there, which is what we're going to do now. Now we've got our spacers in there. Bruno already took care of that. So we'll slide this up into place, and all we have to do is kind of pay attention and just make sure we get this bracket down here lined up with the spring, and we'll put our nut on up top. Now, once you get that into place, here's what's going to happen. We'll get up here and just take a look at this real quick. Now when you back up on this thing, it actually lets the pressure off the spring, and the spring will expand back to where you need it. Once you get everything where you want it, you're ready to put it back on the truck. Welcome back to TruckU. Now we've got the 1-inch drop taken care of in the front of the truck. We can roll back here now and start working on the 2-inch drop for the rear. We're going to accomplish that with this little shackle right here. It's just going to relocate the leaf spring attachments, which is easy to see there where Bruno's at.
Yeah, so you can see the difference from the shorter one to the longer one. Now the longer one's going to let this rear axle go up into the body, and this way the whole truck will come down 2 inches, and that's where our drop's going to come into play. But things are going to get a little bit difficult back here because we've got an issue. When this thing was assembled, the truck I mean, the leaf spring was bolted onto here before it was bolted onto the frame. So what we've got to do is we'll take off this bolt, then we're going to have to rotate this whole leaf spring assembly up above the frame here because the bolt right now is hitting up against the back of the frame. We can't get it out. So once it's up, it'll clear. Then we can take this shackle off and start bolting in the new one.
And we've got our new shocks too that'll compensate for our 2-inch drop, and they're a more robust shock. It's going to be a nice ride all the way around.
Yep.
Our buddy rolls in a couple of minutes ago and says, guys, can you swap out my brake fluid for me? Because I was trying to do it by myself and it was kind of a pain in the butt. My wife didn't want to help me out. We understand that, you know. Yeah. And you guys know how it is if you've ever done this, if you've ever flushed it out. You know, you get one guy running around doing the work and the other guy's in the cab, you know, pump, pump, hold. Are you holding? Are you pumping? Next thing you know, you guys are getting angry with each other and it's a bad scene. Wouldn't it be easier if you could do it by yourself?
And you still have no brakes. That's the problem.
That's the bad problem.
The only way you can do this by yourself is with Motive Products Power Brake Bleeder. Now, it's something that I've actually fell in love with. I've used it on my race car before, and it makes life a whole lot easier, and you don't have to rely on anybody else. So what you really do is take off your master cylinder cap like this, and you find the appropriate adapter. They've got them for all different applications. All you do is you screw it on like that. Make sure you've got a good tight seal. Then you're going to pressurize the system. Basically, you're going to pump in brake fluid into new brake fluid and pump out the old. So you fill the container up with 2 quarts of new brake fluid, the one that's appropriate for your vehicle, and you got a little gauge here on the front. And you're going to pressurize the system. You want to go about 10 to 15 pounds of pressure is typical for basic street cars. Now, you don't want to go over 20 though, because if you go too high, you could actually damage your braking system. So you'll get this pumped up. Keep going a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll get you right there to about 15.
And then you'll lock the handle down, and you've got your system pressurized now with new brake fluid.
There you go. Now, you want to start at the caliper furthest away. So we'll go to the back of the truck and do the rear passenger side caliper first.
I'll go hit that right now.
All right, you go take care of that.
So the whole idea back here is you're going to go to your caliper, find the bleeder, and you are going to crack it open, and you'll allow the old stuff to come out, and the new stuff will literally pump in. You simply close the bleeder and you are done, and you move on to the next one.
Very cool. We go to the other rear tire. Like we said, we stay the farthest away, then the passenger side front, driver's side front, and it's pretty much all done as far as the bleeding goes.
Yeah, now once you're done with this whole thing, what you want to do is depressurize the system. It's really easy to do. All you do is simply unscrew the cap and let it drain back through into the tank. If you don't, you're gonna have a little bit of an issue when you go to pop this off the master cylinder and get a little messy. So it'll save the paint and it'll save you a little bit of a mess. Now I gotta tell you something, there's not many things that I can honestly say that I've used in real world applications, which has kind of saved my butt, you know what I mean? I used this thing on my race car before. We were in a situation where, I won't say who, but someone mixed .3 with .4 brake fluid. One was synthetic and one wasn't. Let's say 2 parachutes came in handy at 195 miles an hour because I had no brakes.
I knew the story was coming. You know, I saw this.
So I decided that, you know what, I didn't want anyone touching my car, and I was able to bleed the brakes and do it right by myself. All I did was pump in some brand new .4 into the brake system, and I have had the best pedal I've ever had. So I swear by this thing now.
You know, one of the things I love most about the Motive Power Bleeder is the fact that it takes a two-man job and makes it to where you can do it all by yourself. Because I'll be quite honest with you, and no offense, but sometimes it's just easier to do the stuff by yourself.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, this baby's about ready to come out.
Yeah, it's coming, man.
This is nice. Hey, welcome back to TruckU. Now, today we're working on this 2010 F150 for our buddy, right? It's not a work truck. It's not going to be an off-road machine or anything like this. He's an office type guy. He drives to work and back, and he wants to step up the looks and the performance. So we're doing it with the looks by lowering it a little bit. Now, with the care of Heartthrob exhaust accessories, we're going to step up the performance as well, and this is going to be nice.
Yeah, you know, it's something that we work with all the time as the folks at Heartthrob Exhaust, and we've always had a couple of good results in terms of sound quality and increase in performance. And the way they do that is increasing the airflow. Take this 2.5-inch catback exhaust system we're going to use, a dual catback exhaust system. This is the Velocity Series muffler, and what you can see is you've got the 3-inch going in the front and the 2.5 coming out the back. The result of that is about a 20% increase in airflow over stock. For us, that means performance.
Oh, that's great. Now, this is obviously not the muffler that we're going to install, you know, because of the big gaping hole on it. But what this does is it lets you see some of the engineering and the work and the design that's gone into it. You've got double-walled construction. It's fully welded. You've got the unique wing baffle right in there. So as the air comes through, it gets kicked around, and it makes for that really aggressive sound at the tailpipes. And that's what it's all about.
Right, right. Now the only thing is we've got to get that one out and then, well, get this one in.
No problem. One of the nice things about the Heartthrob exhaust kits is the fact that they make them long enough for the different combinations of trucks. You've got your 2-doors and your 4-doors and crew cabs and ultra super Doppler 10,000 cabs, you know, and this, that, the other. There's a lot of different lengths. Fortunately, they tell you right in the instructions what to do, and they take the guesswork out of it. It's very nice.
Yeah, they make it pretty much foolproof because all you have to do is look through in the instructions, and it'll tell you, for us, for instance, it's got a 144.5-inch wheelbase. That means you leave out the middle section and cut 3 inches off of this exhaust pipe.
Now, you want to make sure that you cut the end that's not flared, all right? Don't cut this off because that's going to give you a lot of problems.
Yeah, it can make things, the whole installation process a bit more cumbersome.
That's a very good point. And actually, real quickly, it can become one big pain in the... Why'd you interrupt me like that?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Almost got it out, and then I will... Oh, there you go. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Cool. We'll get those pieces out of the way, and we can start assembling the new Heartthrob system. Now, a couple other benefits about this is the fact that all these tubes are aluminized and mandrel bent. Mandrel bent means all these bends are smooth, so there's no restriction, better flow, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
As far as them being aluminized, that just means that they're not going to corrode on you, and it's going to hold up and last a long time. So let me get this end going.
All right, I'll do some fishing back here at this hanger.
I appreciate that.
One thing you want to keep in mind too is when you do an exhaust system like this is make sure you keep everything loose and just set in place so you get all the pipes in place, and then you can tighten everything down. This way you can do some, you know, adjusting as you go along. Now, as you can see, there is a significant physical difference in the old muffler and this new one. You know, this is the HVS series muffler from Heartthrob Exhaust, and this is kind of where the magic happens for this whole exhaust system. Coming in. You know, we've got that 3-inch tube coming in the front, and out the back we've got the dual 2.5s, and that's where we're going to get all our performance gains from the big increase in airflow percentage, about 20%, and that's going to mean some power for this truck.
That is nice, man. All we have to do is tighten everything up, and this job is done. Hey, we need to go to break real quick. When we come back, we'll keep working on this Ford.
Hey, don't forget the tips, man.
Nice. So what's in your bed? Virtually anything is possible with a pickup truck, and that is why you need to protect the bed of your truck like we did with bed armor from Duplicolor. Now let me tell you something about this. One of the advantages is it's a water-based polyurethane. I know some of you guys are saying, well, what's the big deal with that? Well, there's a couple of advantages. First of all, some of the brands, when you open them up, every time you open, man, that odor's a little bit overwhelming. You got to put the mask on, make sure you're doing it in a well-ventilated area. You don't have to worry about any of that with the bed armor kit because it's a very low odor formula. Also, cleanup. If you get some of this stuff where you don't want it, which yours truly did a little bit, as long as you get to it when it's wet, a little damp rag will wipe it right off. It's nice and easy, and it comes off of your hands too, so you don't have to worry about wearing it for a couple of weeks after you do the job. Let's talk about pot life. Now, pot life in this is the fact that it's not going to harden up. That's what we're talking about with this. As long as you put that lid on and get it good and sealed, this is going to stay liquid. And you can see the particles that give it the texture. They actually grind up old tires, and they grind up all the rubber, and they make a couple different sizes right there, and you can see it. These big chunks are going to give you a couple of advantages too. You've got your impact resistance, and it's going to be a nice non-skid surface. We've done a lot of tests to the bed armor, from dumping a load of rocks in there to hauling machinery. We've had chemical spills. We've explained the benefits of the UV protection and why it's important that it's a water-based polyurethane. But most importantly, keep in mind that the bed armor is the only do-it-yourself bed liner that's formulated with Kevlar, so you know that it's good and strong. Now, if you want some more information about the bed armor, or you want to see some instructional videos, just log on to Duplicolor's website. Oh, that is just about perfect. Today in the lab, we want to talk about carbon buildup. Anybody with a motor is susceptible to carbon buildup, and here's what can happen over time, especially with an older motor. Now, in a big, fancy, high-dollar lab, they're going to have these things called boroscopes, and that's what they can go into the motor and look around with their screen, and they can show you all that carbon buildup, and they say, look, you've got some problems. But question is, what do you do about it? Well, you can use a product like this. Gum Out is actually going to help attack those carbon buildups. But what's it doing, and how does it work? So we took some carbon chips a little bit earlier and a big chunk right there, and we put that on there, and we put some Gum Out on it to see how it would actually react. And we put them on this hot plate to simulate intake temperature. Now we can apply the Gum Out and actually see what kind of reaction it has with the carbon. And you watch it just attack the carbon, and it's dancing all over the place, and that's what's going to happen inside your engine. You see, what goes on is when you put this in your fuel tank, when you got the tank just about empty, and you put that in, then you fill it up on gas, and the fuel takes it around the whole engine, and it attacks the carbon as it's traveling around. That's how it all works. It breaks the carbon up. Eventually, that's going to shoot out your exhaust. Now, it's also preventative, which means if you keep using it, it's going to help keep that from happening again. So it's not only going to clean up your carbon deposits, but it's going to help keep everything clean as well. Now, there's other benefits too. It's going to optimize your fuel economy. Any horsepower that might have been lost due to your carbon buildup, you're going to get that back as well. So it's nice and easy, and there are a ton of benefits. It's Gum Out. It's easy to use, and now we know how it works. And today's assignment is done. Welcome back to TruckU. You know, everything we did today on that truck, specifically the lowering kit, came from Stylin' Trucks. And what Stylin' Trucks is, it's this company that has the catalogs and all of these parts. It's all the newest and wildest stuff that's going to help you make your truck unique.
Yeah, one of the things about Stylin' Trucks is the people who work there, and I mean, these guys are industry experts. They've been around for a long time. They get it, you know what I mean? So if you call and you need some help and you need some product knowledge, they're the people who can lead you down the right path. It's not like you're just calling some call center, getting some person on the line who has no idea what you're talking about. So they can be a great asset as just the people you're calling on the phone. And the other thing is these guys have been around for over 20 years, so they're going to be there in the long haul to help you down the road as well.
Yeah, they've got a low price guarantee, they ship stuff fast, and they guarantee satisfaction as well. It's Stylin' Trucks, and they've got everything you need. The Barros company has been around a long time. I mean, pretty much everybody's heard of them by now, and they're always putting new stuff out on the market. And here's one of the newest things, and this is cool. It's the liquid copper block seal intake and radiator stop leak.
Yeah, it's a permanent one-step fix for leaks in your gaskets, your radiators, your heater cores, your freeze plugs, whether it's the block, the intake manifold, or the cylinder heads. This stuff will make a permanent fix for it. And you know what's great is because this new product will fix larger holes that some of the other products in the marketplace won't be able to seal, and it will be a permanent fix.
Yeah, the big thing is it's one step and it's nice and easy. You don't even have to drain anything. You just dump it into your existing cooling system, and it's compatible with whatever color antifreeze you're running too. It's the liquid copper block seal intake and radiator stop leak from Barros, and it's good for pretty much any vehicle on the road.
For more information on anything you've seen on today's show, check out speedtv.com or visit our website at truckutv.com.
There we go. It's all about the details, man. That looks pretty good.
That's a nice touch.
Hey, welcome back to TruckU. Today we're working on this Ford F-150 pickup truck. It's a 2010 and it's pretty new. You know, the driver of this thing, he wanted something that he's going to drive every day and something that's going to be comfortable to ride around in. It's not a work truck, and he wanted something a little bit different style too. We decided to drop it for once.
Right.
One in the front and two in the back, and that's going to improve the handling of the vehicle as well. We also want to give this thing a little more performance and a little better sound, so we updated with a brand new heartthrob exhaust system. So this thing is pretty much ready to roll, except for one little thing we want to show you guys. Ka-chow!
Nice lightning. Hey, we got with our buddies over at Coast to Coast International, and we told them what we wanted to do, and they said, we've got just the thing for you. 22-inch wheels right here. These are the Harley-Davidson models right here. Coast to Coast International has an entire line of replacement OEM wheels, and you can see right here what a difference they make on the vehicles.
Huge.
But Coast to Coast also has a lot of other products as well.
Yeah, this is what they call their imposter wheel skins, and it's a great way to dress up just about any wheel. Now, what you've got right here is probably the most basic wheel you can find in a Ford. You know what I mean? There's nothing to it. You want to dress it up a little bit, and you don't want to spend a lot of money. So, way to do it on the cheap, well, is put one of these in. I mean, because this is going to make your wheel look brand new and give it a whole lot of a bling factor, let's say. Boom, and you're done. It doesn't go in any quicker or easier than that. I mean, it looks like a brand new wheel, and it was something to get this look would normally cost you thousands of dollars.
And as you can see, it literally installs in seconds. Hey, you know what? Let's take a look at these right here. Maybe this is kind of an upgraded set of wheels that you've got, right? Maybe the wife got a hold of it and ran up on the curb and forgot to tell you about it for, 3 or 4 weeks.
Never
what
seen that happen.
Right? This, yeah, I didn't mean to get close to home on that one, but again, line up the valve stem and look at this. In seconds, you just push this in and it catches. Boom, boom, boom. And you are on and rolling. I mean, literally, it took a couple seconds to do that. Now, you've got this wheel down here. Bruno, I'm not even sure what happened to this thing, but it looks horrible.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways people would attack that if they want to clean it up. They'll try and buff it out or repaint it over and something like that, but you're still going to have the standard appearance of a stock wheel. You pop one of these things on, and not only is it a lot easier to do, you can do it in a few seconds, but you've got the look of a much more expensive wheel, something that traditionally you'd spend thousands of dollars to acquire. So it doesn't get much easier than that. Each one of these is made for a specific wheel. They're not one of those one-size-fits-all that never really quite fits right. So they were made for the wheel. They'll pop right on, and they will cost you a fraction of the cost of having a true chrome wheel.
And voila, look at that.
That looks awesome.
Times 4, that would take you about 45 seconds, and these babies are ready to roll. Hey, that's going to wrap it up for us today. We'll catch you next time right here on TruckU. Get to cleaning. Oh, you're done. See, that's how easy it is. Look how quick you did that.